Hi. Come here. Oh my lord. Come here. There you go. Be the podcast puppy. My pumpkin. You're very demanding, you know that? You're very demanding. Ma'am. Miss Ma'am. Oh, you're so cute. Are you the podcast puppy? Are you? Are you the podcast puppy, Rosie? Yes. Hello and welcome back to Knit Away the Anxiety Podcast. My name is Marissa. I'm not quite so anxious today, which is good. This is Rosie, my pup. I'm naming her the podcast puppy, so she may pop in and out occasionally today because she decided she wanted to be in today. This is, what is it, episode 5, I think? Oh my god. Yeah, it's episode 5, and date of recording is March 1st. Another month gone, thank goodness. Holy crap. This is gonna be so odd, trying to do everything around her. My god, because she's being so clingy today. This is my podcast where I talk about my knits, crochets, little bit of weight loss conversation and anxiety conversation. That's typically at the end. Occasionally I ramble quite a bit. So it might be some rambling. Hopefully not, because I'm limited on time today. Got an appointment later, so try and go as quickly as possible. First up on the docket, we have some FOs. So first off, I finished my muscle burra. Where are you going, Rosie? Are you gonna lay down? What are you doing? Yep, she's gonna lay down in my lap. Okay, that's fine. So first I got my muscle burra, which I am super happy with. I'm not gonna put it on because hair. But this is my first muscle burra for myself, and I absolutely love the colors. Like, browns and grays, little bits of pink, and very suitable to the colorway name of Puppy Love. This yarn is the Blue Bricks Killarney sock base. It's a 80/20 superwash merino nylon base, and like I said, the colorway is Puppy Love. It was meant to be kind of modeled after the owner's 2 huskies that they had, so that's why it's gray and brown with little speckles of pink for their noses. And I really enjoyed using this yarn. I have I think another one of their husky size skeins in a different colorway that I think I also have set aside for another muscle bra. So, but that one's more, I think the colorway on that one's called like leather or something, and that's really masculine, so I might make that one for my husband. I'm not quite sure yet. But I was super happy with how this came out. I haven't blocked it yet, obviously, like it's still really pointy, but I'm super happy with it. And I did this on a US 2 or 2.75 millimeter needle. Yeah, that's my muscle bra. And then the second FO, I haven't won moving my ends in yet because I'm a monster, is the first of 2 matching Italian autumn cowls. So I'm so much happier with how this went. I'm so glad I took everyone's advice and just did something different with it. So I'm super happy with how it came out, and the other one will be practically identical. So I'm incredibly happy with how this came out. Oh my gosh. And the little marl transition parts are just worked out great. I'm super happy with it. I'm super happy with it. And the other one, I think the other one I just, you'll see that later. You'll see that later. I'll show that to you later. But anyway, that's the Italian Autumn Cowl by an Italian knitter. And I did this out of Cape May fibers, 3 of her skeins, 2 of which were one of a kind colorways, and the other was called Sunny Morning. I think that's this color here, Sunny Morning. The variegated was a merino cashmere nylon base, and then the purple and the kind of gold color are her, I think 75/25 merino nylon. And squish factor is amazing on the whole thing. Obviously it's garter stitch and eyelets, so it's super squishy. It's fabulous. What? Come here. getting hair all over me. Come on. Come on. I don't have time for this, Rosie. Come on. Be underneath this, I guess? Okay, be under the shawl. Little weirdo. Oh, I didn't mention the shawl I'm wearing. This is my Stormy Skies shawl that I did in the Karen Skinny Cake melon smoothie that I wore, I think, episode 1, I think it was. It's not, my office is typically pretty warm, so I can't typically wear knits during the weekends when I'm recording. But I intentionally made my office super cold today so that I could wear it because I can't have my fan on with the new mic. The mic picks up everything. Okay, so that was all those FOs. Now on to whips. Oh look, there's a Rosie head in the frame. Hi, baby. Hi. I'm gonna move that out of the way. That's gonna be in the way. Okay, yeah. You're gonna have to move. I'm gonna be moving a lot, Rosie. Oh, I know, baby. I know. Oh my goodness. There. Is that a little bit better? If I move my leg, is that better? Can you lay right there, please? Can you lay down? Can you lay down, please? Come on. I want you to stay up here, but I have to be able to move. Come on. There you go. Lay down. God, she's so silly. Silliest little dog. Okay. Anyway, whips. I gotta freaking power through all of this. Oh my goodness. Alright, first up is the Garter Eyelet Blanket, strongly inspired by Helen Stewart's Habitation Throw. And where is my marker? Not as much progress on this one since last week. So this little marker is where I was last episode. I've only done maybe 1.5 inches, not very much. Majority of my knitting time has been going to other projects. I'm also like not knitting much before bed right now just because I'm so freaking tired. Like the work days takes a lot out of me. So by the time I actually get to bed, I'm just dead. So I just pass out. So I'm gonna try and dedicate some more time to this in the next week or so to maybe get done with that next skein so that I can finally start doing the decrease section, especially because it's March. I want this to be done. I have a month to get it done and I'm like halfway done. Can I do it? I don't know. I'm gonna try. But yeah, that's the Garter Eyelet Throw, inspired by Helen Stewart's Habitation Throw. I'm doing that out of a whole bunch of different Sorella yarn, classic sock and nylon sock minis and oopsie skeins, and I'm using a US 8 or 5mm needle on that. That's coming along. I'm at about the 50% point. And then we got the brick block. Get it out without losing anything. Okay, good. I got a big loop on that, so it should be fine. It's like a hat trick. Alrighty, I'm gonna keep this as folded as possible so you guys can see it. This is where I was last time. It was here. So I've added almost an entire color repeat, which is not bad. So that means I'm on, so I need 7.5 repeats. I just completed repeat number 5 and I've started repeat number 6. So I have 2.5 repeats. Yeah, 2.5 repeats left. So this is literally, I can lay it on my, like from my toes to my hips when I'm working on it now. It's gotten so much, it's so lovely. I love it so much. It's my favorite. Yeah, this is the brick block blanket by, I'm gonna butcher this name, I do every time, Tidzin Guledvziu. I don't know. Oh, it's over here. Oh my god. And I'm doing this out of a bunch of loops and threads, impeccable yarns that I have in my stash. So it's white, black, blue moon, teal, and aqua. And I don't think on this one here, the aqua color, I'm not gonna have enough. I'm very, very likely gonna have to buy another skein And I have attempted to reach out to someone on Ravelry to see if they are willing to sell me a half a skein of this color that they have, because I don't want to have to go buy a whole another skein when I'm only going to use half of it. But we shall see. So I'm going to probably give that like another week to see if they respond, and if they don't, then I'm buying another skein, which sucks. But I knew I was likely going to need more going into this with this specific color, because I only had one ball of it, and I knew this was going to require at least a ball and a half for the blue moon and the aqua, because these are my accent colors. So I guess I caught my hook. Oops. Fold that back up. And I am doing that on a Prim H or 5.5mm hook. I actually were starting another project here, and I'll show that to you in a bit. It was my 6-day superstar. I attempted to not remove this hook from this project, and so I grabbed one of my other H hooks that has a significantly shorter throat, and I hated it. I don't know how in the hell I crocheted with such short-throated crochet hooks for so many years. I don't know, because this is amazing. Like, I went and bought more of different sizes of this so I could do my 6-day superstar with only the prims, because the long throat just works so much better with my hands and my ergonomics. So if you've never tried a prim, I highly recommend it. And even though this is technically a plastic hook, if you're not using it with acrylic yarn, it works pretty damn good. And even like, there is a tiny bit of squeaking when I use it with the acrylic yarn, but it's negligible. Like, I can deal with it. Like, I think it's worth it for the amazingness it is this hook. So yeah, Prim hooks, highly recommend. And speaking of 6-day superstar, I don't think I worked on this like at all. I may have. Oh no, I did. Okay. I'm glad I put a marker on it. So I was right there, and I'm now here. I haven't worked on it very much. Crochet has not been the forefront of my brain the last 2 weeks. It's very much been knitting, just because I need to be able to watch things, and just need to be able to just do the motions and just shut my brain off. And the crochet sadly can take quite a bit more brain power, because I have to physically watch it. I can't not look at it, which sucks. But I added a tiny bit to my 6-day superstar. I think I've only got like maybe 5 hours into it. Like, it's not very much, but it's like probably 30 inches across right now. It's about my chest like half my chest. So I think, yeah, it's about 30 probably. So I'm might be halfway there. I don't know. But the yarns on this are the Lion Brown Pound of Love and the Elephant Gray Charcoal and Thistle colors. And I'm again using all of my Prim hooks on that. The pattern requires you to go up a hook size every time that the blanket starts to cup, kind of do the cupping motion when you lay it flat. So I'm using an H all the way through K is what I've got in my availability for hooks, so that's what I'm using. I think right now I'm only on like the J, and I'm nowhere near it kind of starting to cup again, so should be fine, hopefully. Last whip is the vanilla socks for my husband, the reknit ones, and this is going to be really, really tumultuous to pull out because I'm at a really weird stage with them. Give me a minute here. This just looks like a freaking needle nightmare. It's a needle nightmare. Oh my god. Okay, as you can see, very much knitting with ramen. I've completed the heel flap and turn on one sock, and I'm almost done with the heel flap on the other sock. I think in literally the last 2 days I did all of that. So I was there. Like, where that marker is where I was when I last showed them to you. So I completed the entire leg on both, and then I'm almost done with the heel turn part, the heel flap and turn. So I'll get to start doing the gusset here soon. Hopefully next episode they'll be done. Maybe, I don't know. My husband's got longer feet, so it may take me a bit longer than I'm hoping. So we shall see. I actually pulled out a set of double points because I saw this trick on my Instagram a while ago, where you have this like secondary needle when you're doing your heel flap, and you like wrap the yarn around that secondary needle. There we go. And you like, how do I explain this? It's so hard to explain. Like when you are going to do that initial, like in this, it's just a standard like knit one, slip one heel flap. So like when you initially do that first slip one, and then before you knit the next stitch, you wrap the yarn around this spare needle so that it creates a loop around it, and then you work across and do the same thing on the other end. And you do this so that you already have stitches set up to pick up when you are picking up for your gusset stitches. Because I don't know about you guys, but I really, really suck at picking up stitches for my gussets, like really bad. And I've found that doing this really helps. So oh, hi Rose. So it creates this like, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but it makes it so that I have all these stitches right here already, so that when I go to pick everything up, I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, so I'm knitting from ramen. I tore out my husband's old socks, reballed them, and I'm just knitting straight from the ramen. I do not care. It's not really affecting my stitches at all, which I think I might just be lucky. I don't know. But yeah, so it's Peyton's Patton's, I don't freaking know. I say Patton's. Patton's Croy in the color Tourmaline Stripes. And yeah, I'm doing it on a US 1 or 2.25 millimeter needle. And when I'm not doing the flapping gusset, I do them 2 at a time on 2 circulars, because that's just easiest for me. So yeah, so that's the progress on those. Okay, that's all the whips. But I've got a few new cast-ons, or new starts. What is the term? When I've never been able to figure this out. What is the term when you are starting a new crochet project? What is the term? It's not cast-on. Like, that's the term for when you're starting a new knitting project. But I don't know what it is for a new crochet project. I don't know. I've got 2 knitting projects and 1 crochet project that I started up. So I'll start with the crochet project because that's what my notes say. So I don't have like much to show with it because it's individual little bits and pieces, but got all the little daisies for it, and then a couple of the little squares. The pattern is called Gingham and Daisies Baby Blanket by Catherine MacLeod. And this is a commission that my sister-in-law has asked me to make for her cousin. So, oh my goodness. So I've got a little stack of one of the accent color squares, and then I have all the daisies that are going to be required for this. I've got all the little daisies. You can kind of see the yellow in the middle, as you should, because it's a daisy. If it wasn't clear, my sister-in-law's cousin is having a baby girl. So, and I'm doing this out of Wool Ease. Oh, I forgot the yellow. Hold on. There we go. So those are all my colors. So this is the Loops and Threads Impeccable in the color Lemon. It's just the center of the daisies that this is used, so I was not gonna find a Woolies or a washable wool yarn like my sister-in-law asked for just the center of the daisies. Hell no, not doing that. It's acrylic. You're not even gonna really touch it. It's just the center of the daisies. So there's the lemon, and then all of these are Lion Brand Wool Ease. So this is the colorway Fisherman. Trying to put them all back in here as I go. Okay, up there for a reason. My lord. Okay. So that was Fisherman, and then I'm doing Rose Heather for all of the accent squares. So the majority of the squares will be white and then the Rose Heather color. And then 40. And then all of the yarn, this is dark Rose Heather, and this will go around the daisies. And there'll be like a little gingham checker pattern with all of those. So this is going to be a slow thing. The baby's not due for a few months. I'm going to be probably doing maybe 4 separate squares on the 2 mornings of the week when I work remotely, because that seems to be like the only time I can really deal with crocheting squares. They're super basic, solid granny squares, so it's not like super brain engaging, but it's engaging enough that I have to pay attention. So yeah, that's the gingham and daisies. I'll put all these back. My lord. Put all the squares back. There we go. And I'm doing that on doing a USH or 5mm hook again by Prim. I did buy a second H Prim hook because that is a size I use all the time. So because so much my stash is worsted weight, I do end up using an H hook a lot when I crochet. So I needed to have a second H because I know I'm gonna need it. And then the next new cast on is like almost done. This will definitely be done by next week's episode. Ta-da! This is a sock yarn cowl by Noble Knits. It's not on, the pattern is not on Ravelry, it's just free on her blog, and that'll be linked down below. So I'm doing this out of a random single ply superwash merino that I have in my stash. I've never, like, I've had this yarn forever. I think this is one of the very first like wool yarns I ever got, and I didn't even buy it. It was a gift from my aunt along with some crochet pattern. I think it was like a crochet shawl pattern, and I just never did anything with it because it was so complex and I didn't know how to use single ply properly. So I actually like didn't even have the full ball of this. I actually used part of that ball to knit my mother-in-law's socks a few years ago. When I was on a sock kick for Christmas gifts, but I figured, I want to get more yarn out of my stash this year. So like, how can I get through my stash? How can I also, how can I take things I have in my stash and make them into things with less yardage? And I was watching, or I have been watching the entire backlog of Knit All the Yarn podcast, Lisa of Knit All the Yarn podcast. And early on, she found the sock yarn cowl by Noble Knits, and the pattern's intended for one single ball of Felici. So it's like barely 200 yards of yarn is required to do this whole cowl. I've got closer to 250 yards, and I'm just gonna do a slightly longer cowl, which is fine. I'm not angry about that. I know the person this is. I'm intending to make this for my mother-in-law. Like, she loves this color already. So I'm like, I know she loves this color. Why would I not just make her a cowl in this? And I know she loves the cowls that I make for her. So my mother-in-law loves everything I make for her, which is, as long as it's purple, she's happy. So I know she will love this like a lot. And I literally have this much left. Like, I don't have much left. This will be done in the next week probably. And doing, what am I doing that on? Oh my gosh, I'm doing that on a US 4. The pattern calls for, I think, a US 3, but I'm a tight knitter, so I always size up at least one hook. Lordy, I always size up at least 1 needle, sometimes 2. Typically when I'm doing garments, I size up 2 to 3 needles. I knit that tightly, so I have to go way up. Yeah, and I'm putting that's in my new Joanne's crafty tarot bag. So super cute, super small project, really good for appointments. I actually originally started it because I had to go, like, the morning that I had to go to the dentist for dental cleaning, and I just was working on it the entire time I was in the chair, and I got so much of it done because it's so few stitches. Like, I'll link the pattern down below. It's super easy. Love the pattern. And the last new cast on, it's not gonna be surprising at all. It is the other half of the matching Italian autumn cowls that I'm doing. So I mentioned it a little bit earlier. I've completed the variegated parts and I'm officially on the purple section. This will likely be done next episode as well because I take this with me to work and I work on this on my lunch breaks and it does not require a whole lot of time. So it will definitely be done by next episode. And yarn and details and all that is identical to the one I finished. Okay, so that's all of that. I guess I can kind of talk about future cast-ons. I want, obviously, like, once I'm done with my sock yarn cowl, I do want to start another one. I have a few other yarns in my stash that are really good quantity to do those. Like, I have one that I did socks for my mom and my sister-in-law out of a few years ago that I have enough left over of the yarns from that I could make it into 2 cowls. So I will likely be doing that at some point in the future. And then the other future cast on, a possible future cast on, is another musselburgh. And show you the yarns for that. So one of them, I've already wound them up into cakes, and I'm just kind of waiting for when the musselburgh need strikes me. So one of them is Lion Brand Wool Ease in the color Marshmallow. I've got like 200 some yards of this. And then the other one's this one, which looks like a fucking Easter egg in this lighting. This is the Sorella yarn. Oh my god, Sorella yarn nylon sock. So 75-25 nylon sock base in the colorway Casita. And I've had this for probably 2 or 3 years now, and it's screaming to be a musselburgh. And originally I was just going to do this by itself, but it's not enough yardage to do a musselburgh in the size I want it to be. So I'm going to add in this, and I already worked out exactly like the ratio of 1 gram of this to, I think it was like 2.2 grams of Casita. So I'm going to stripe them throughout the entire hat. So I'll do 2.28 grams of Casita and then 1 gram of white and just kind of alternate throughout the whole thing. So I'm excited to start this one. I don't know when I will start it, but it will be started at some point. Maybe in the next 2 weeks. I don't know yet. But we shall see. So, content warning, we are now getting into the weight loss and anxiety stuff. Not a whole lot on either front this episode, which is kind of good and kind of not super great. So, on the weight loss stuff, I haven't been to the gym at all. Not really due to anxiety, just I'm really, really stressed out and I'm really trying to find solace in the knitting right now. And just, I don't have the brain power to try and modify and do things at the gym. I just don't right now. Things are so crazy at work. I just don't have the capacity for it. But no change. There hasn't been any change in weight. Like, I'm maintaining that 36 pound weight loss, which is good. Maintenance is good, which that's going to be the biggest hurdle once I've lost all this weight. So the better I get at maintaining, the better and easier things will be once I've lost all the weight I want to lose. One good thing though, I have officially begun the journey with a nutritionist. I had a meeting or consultation with a nutritionist a couple of days ago, and I have a follow-up. It's coming Monday, and I'm super stoked to finally really start on that journey and start better feeding myself, I guess, and really fill in the gaps that I know I have with my nutrition and see what that does for my weight loss and food noise and all that stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I think that's going to be really good. I really like the nutritionist that I found. I found her I'm using Nourish. So if you're, I don't know if it's outside the US, but if you're in the US and you have insurance that covers Nourish, it's literally, if your insurance covers it, it's no money. It costs nothing, and they don't back bill you if it turns out your insurance says, no, I'm not covering this. Like, which is great. And right off the gate, like, when I was meeting with this nutritionist, she was telling me that Nourish's entire philosophy is don't do the fad diets. It's about balance. Like, it's about actually educating you. Like, I love all of that. It's so realistic and so, like, I don't even know, like, realistic is like the best way to put it. It's just, it's a more realistic approach to nutrition, and they're not going to have you going through fad diets and things like that don't actually work. So that to me is great. As someone who grew up observing a mother who still to this day partakes in all of the fad diets in a really unhealthy way, and is having to undo all of that really toxic diet culture, especially here in the States. That means a lot to me, to have someone who's going to intentionally work with me in the best way that's going to be sustainable afterwards when we're done working together, versus something to get me to lose 30 pounds now. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. It's just so much better. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm very much looking forward to that. And then on the anxiety, no real changes since last episode. I'd say my score was like a 4.5 or 5 out of 10, which is a tiny bit lower than normal, which is kind of shocking considering how high my stress has been at work. But I think because I've just been kind of taking a step back and trying to focus on managing my stress versus trying to do all these different things and change my entire lifestyle, I think that's helping keep the anxiety down. I also, for lack of a better term, kind of had, I don't want to call it an episode, but like, my husband and I really like had like not a come to Jesus, but like we had a really serious conversation about some things that have been really bothering us, and we're officially starting counseling together. And while both of us have our own separate therapists, we have never done couples counseling, like specifically for us as a couple. Like, he's come to couple sessions with me before just to kind of get some things off my chest and have a mediator there, but like, we're actually beginning the process of couples counseling today. And I'm really looking forward to what that does for us, and helps with our communication and helps us better navigate the future. Like, we've been together over a decade now, and we have many more decades left, and I am very much looking forward to getting those issues that have been kind of plaguing us for the longest time, getting those figured out and finding ways to better handle them as a unit, because neither of us want to give up. We don't. We're kind of at a standstill with these issues, and we don't want to give up. We want to keep fighting, and I think that's one of my favorite things about us, is that we don't want to give up when there's problems. We want to fight, and we want to find the solution and find coping mechanisms, and we don't want it to be over. We don't want it to be over. We want to fix it as best we possibly can. So that's gonna be today. So I'm sure next episode I will have some updates on that front. That might cause more anxiety, might reduce the anxiety. I don't know yet, but we shall see. Oh, and one more thing. Stash video is coming. It is coming. Thank you so much to everyone who really confirmed that you do indeed want the stash video. Thank you especially to Ginny from the UK. Like, I'm calling you out specifically, Ginny. Thank you so much for saying the initial yes and then reaffirming you want it, and that in getting a whole bunch more people on board. I 100% will be doing that, probably filming it this weekend, likely tomorrow, because I don't have anything planned for tomorrow. I don't know when it will come out, but it will be happening. It will be happening. So thank you all so much for letting me know you are interested in that. Just so you guys are aware, and I know this is definitely the tism with this over explaining. The reason that I did not want to make that video if it was not needed is because I do not want to make content or make videos that come across as, how do I put this, as flaunting my privilege and my money and things like that. Like, I'm not loaded by any means, but I don't have children. I am a dink. I'm dual income, no kids. Like, well, technically I'm a dinkwad because I'm a dual income, no kids with a dog and a cat. But so I have the disposable income to amass a stash, and I don't want to, I don't want people to feel like their stash is inadequate, or like, I don't know. I didn't want it to be like I was showing off and all that, unless it was wanted. Like, unless you guys were actually interested in it. Just because I can feel like that sometimes when I'm watching someone like going through their stash. It's like, especially people who are admittedly more of yarn snobs. Like, they have all of this wonderful indie dyed and all these wools and whatnot. And I've always felt like when watching those videos specifically that it's like flashing your wealth, and I'm not that kind of person. I 100% believe all yarn is good yarn. I have absolutely nothing against acrylic or wool, as you guys have all seen. Like, I do have a disdain for cotton, but that's because I'm a tight knitter. Like, I think everyone can understand that. But I didn't want to just make the video and make it appear that I was showing off. So the fact that all of you want to see that, thank you so much. I will 100% be doing that. I don't know when it'll come out, but it will indeed be happening. I think that's all I have for you guys. Really short episode today. I didn't have much. Hopefully I'll have some more updates for you next episode. But yeah, I think that's it. I don't have anything else. I don't have any rambles today, thank goodness. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please subscribe, click the like button, leave me a comment, let me know what your favorite freaking thing was. I'm hoping it's the dog moments. Those are my favorite moments. And let me know if there's anything else you want to see. Like, if you have any questions, if you want to know about, like, yeah, ask me anything. My gosh, I'm an open book. Please ask me questions and I'll address them in the next episode. Yeah, I think that's all I got. So I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye!